Okay, so please tell some words about yourself.
Okay, sure. So my actual profession is a management consultant here in the DC area, but I am active in Ukrainian-American and diaspora events here in the Washington, DC area. I'm a member of the Washington Group, which is a networking, business, cultural, social group in the DC area that works to promote various aspects of Ukrainian culture and economic ties in the area. In addition, I've also assisted with some other organizations, including co-organized a language meetup to practice Ukrainian language. Also worked with a sister city organization in Arlington, where I live. It's a sister city between Arlington, Virginia, and Ivano-Frankivsk in Ukraine. So this is my involvement with the U.S. Ukraine Foundation, and so I'm interested in many of these topics, and so today I'm going to present to you information about contemporary youth movements and social activities. And the way I structured this presentation, there are a large number of youth movements and along every topic in different sectors, and so I concentrate on a few of the more famous ones that you can find in the United States that are very well known, and are also extremely comprehensive. And I also related it to some Ukrainian organizations and organizations that you can see in Ukrainian-American diaspora.
Yulia, I'm sorry, I have some troubles recording the presentation, so it would be great if you can do it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay, Yulia, I'll just wait a couple moments until you let me know that the presentation is ready to record.
Yeah, I'm loaded.
You? Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So, we begin. Okay, first, this is the overview. Going to give an introduction over to what youth movements are. I'm then going to provide you some philosophy. What's the idea behind it? What's the purpose behind these organizations? Then, as I mentioned a little earlier, I'm going to discuss some American youth movements, then some Ukrainian and also the Ukrainian-American diaspora youth movements. I'm then going to draw some comparisons between them, and also then I'm going to focus on the Orange Revolution, as you'll see how youth movements can be successful and lead to a final outcome. I'm then going to make some conclusions, and I'm also going to discuss some exchange programs between Ukraine and U.S. This wasn't exactly on topic, but when I was speaking to Yulia yesterday, she mentioned that many of you are interested in different exchange programs. So I can tell you some that I know of and one that I'm involved in. And any other questions about the presentation, about exchange programs, anything about the United States, or any other topics, questions you have, please feel free to ask me. I'll be happy to answer anything you'd like. So, okay. To introduce, the main question we have to answer before we begin the topic is, what is a youth movement? So a youth movement dictionary defines as a political, religious, or social reform movement or agitation consisting chiefly of young people. So they generally involve youth between the ages of 7 and 18, of course. Generally, if they're younger than 7 years of age, then they won't be able to be at a mentally mature point where they can really understand the purpose behind the organization. And they tend to focus on various categories of interest. And they can be any one of political, social, cultural, religious, or economic. And the whole focus behind them is, of course, oriented towards you educate different youth within a group and atmosphere. So they're not learning individually or they're not learning separately on their own. Everybody is taken through this environment together, so they have the experiences and they can share them together with each other as a group. And the philosophy of youth movements are, again, organized and involve children from a very young age. Because that is the beginning when they're starting to, their mental abilities are being formed, where they start to really grasp higher concepts, and where they can start learn and truly be educated. And that's the stage of life where we really want to start to get your children involved in different activities so they can begin to perform and to develop habits that will follow them throughout life. So, I mean, they will be able to develop various useful, beneficial skills, and they'll also, very importantly, learn to work with others. That's going to be an extremely important aspect of the youth movement, because everything in society works with others. Whether you have a job, whether you live in a community, whether you just exist with your family and friends, you have to be aware of it. And social isolation is never a good thing. So, and some of the benefits that can be derived from this are, of course, development of social skills, general fitness, both mental as well as physical, so encouragement of different sports as well as different education to sharpen the mind, discipline, and also general education on whatever topics that are discussed in the movement. So now I'm going to focus on three American youth movements that are very famous, they're very well known, and are still in existence in the United States. They're the Boy Scouts of America, the Big Brothers and Sisters of America, and the Boys and Girls Club of America. All three of these groups are very old. They've been started a century or more ago in many cases. They are extremely successful, and they're so successful they're not only in the United States, that many different chapters or other organizations have broken out and developed in other countries based on this. So in the European Union, in Australia, in Canada, in South America, so they've been very successful and they're worth studying and understanding. So the Boy Scouts of America, it's one of the largest youth organizations in the United States. It currently has more than 2.7 million youth and 1 million adult volunteers. And what's behind it is the principle of scouting. So, and the idea behind scouting is character development, training to be a good model citizen, and also develop personal fitness. So, and in conjunction with that, the Boy Scouts are also the Girl Scouts. And the Girl Scouts is an organization that is meant for females. So it is very much the compatriots and the contemporary of the Boy Scout organization. So it describes itself as one of probably the world's best organization dedicated solely to females and towards their development. And the Girl Scouts promise is that just shows you what they promise when they are getting involved with. It's just a window and a symbol of some of their ideals. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. And this is very important. The reason I focus on that is, unlike the other organizations that you tend to see, this is a group that is not worldwide, but it also encompasses everything that youth will need to learn in society. It provides them with education, it provides them with activities, it provides them with social organization for the peers. Many other groups don't necessarily do this. If you join a specific club or a specific economic benefit, then it will be very narrow. You'll get a very broad education or a very broad focus on one specific benefit, and it doesn't necessarily develop you the same level necessarily. As you get older and your interests are defined, you can understand what you like more and less and what you find better and more interesting, then you can sort of explore your interests. But for youth, they need the broadest education possible to really develop their minds. So, and the basic necessities that they'll understand here will be used throughout their life, in wherever they go throughout the life. So the Girl Scouts, as I mentioned, other scouting organizations, they teach certain values such as honesty, fairness, courage, compassion, character, sisterhood, confidence, and good model citizenship. All very important, necessary activities. And some of the activities that they do to demonstrate to achieve these characteristics include camping, community service, also learning first aid. And here's just a nice picture of the type of Girl Scouts that you get in the U.S. So they will, group who will band together, and they will learn work on these different types of activities to give them a broad education, and through this education and through interaction with each other, they can develop all these positive traits. So, and also some benefit of, in many cases, entrepreneurship. Many people don't know, but some of the organizations are actually involved in economic benefit. The Girl Scouts, for example, are very famous for selling cookies as a fundraising activity. They're extremely famous in the United States. Every springtime, Girl Scouts across the United States will be out selling specific cookies that are specifically made, that were manufactured, that planted just for them. And it's very powerful because now as a group they have their own brand and they have their own economic support system. This is a tremendous fundraiser which raises millions and millions of dollars that benefits them in their activities. So it allows them to go on trips, it allows them to play their sports, it allows them to do whatever they want, host different parties amongst themselves. So another organization is the Boy and Girls Club of America. So this is an organization which provides after-school programs for young people. The mission statement is to enable all young people, especially those who need them most, to reach their full, productive, caring, responsible citizens. So, and their core beliefs are to provide all young people with a safe place to learn and grow, establish ongoing relationships with caring adult professionals, and provide them with programs that will develop their character. So, and the Boys and Girls Clubs are different because they tend to, rather than focus on themselves, also tend to work more on interactions with adults. So it's important, so they'll have a mentor, and working with adults will also give them somebody who's more experienced, who's more wise, who will allow them to grow and to teach them through experience. So some of the strategies that are employed are education and career programs, character and leadership programs, health and life skills, arts, sports, fitness, and recreation. And all of these, of course, are benefiting to complete the individual. I mean, ultimately, a healthy mind works best in a healthy body. So it's important to challenge their intellect by introducing them to various education, guiding them through career, as well as expand their mind through cultural programs of art. But at the same time, it can't be only solely about work, and study. They need active exercise, understanding the health, understanding the body, how to take care of themselves, what's necessary to fully grow, how to maintain a healthy work-life balance. And most organizations, the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America. And again, this is very similar to the Brothers and Sisters Club because they work more with mentoring youth. And these two organizations are focused also in a lot of cases on disadvantage. A lot of children or youth, they might not